film quickly starts after the closure of the primary film with workmanship, the comedian, David Howard Thornton, getting back to life in the funeral home and slicing the clinical analyst's throat. He then, at that point, jumps out the analyst's eye to supplant the one he lost, and furthermore apparently takes the inspector's mind to supplant his own lost cerebrum matter. Craftsmanship then goes to a laundromat and cleans his outfit, killing one more benefactor there, prior to vanishing into the evening. We likewise discover that workmanship sees dreams of a little, crazy, comedian young lady called the Little Pale Young Lady, Emily McLean, who shares his joy in his lethal ways. The film leaps to very nearly a year after the fact as Halloween again approaches. A teen young lady named Sienna, Lauren Lavera, is making her own Halloween ensemble demonstrated after her Dead's fine art. The ensemble is of a holy messenger fighter, which was a person made by her illustrator father before he passed on. At supper, Sienna tells her mom Barbara, Sarah Voigt, that her more youthful sibling Jonathan, Elliot Fulham, is wanting to dress as Craftsmanship the jokester. Barbara prohibits him from doing so, and later, Sienna trusts to her mother that she's stressed over Jonathan's perspective. On television, scenes from the principal film play as Vicky, Samantha Scafidi, the last one standing who endure workmanship's last assaults, however being terribly distorted during her battles, is consulted as portrayed in the main film. Vicky later assaults and nearly kills the questioner. That evening Sienna has a fantasy where she's on a film set shooting ads for a comedian bistro and a cereal possessed by Craftsmanship. She watches unsickened as workmanship kills the wide range of various entertainers on set prior to taking shots at her with a fire hurler. At the point when she stirs, she tracks down her room ablaze hazy in the event that it's because of the fantasy or leaving candles lit. Barbara extinguishes the fire, yet not before it scorched the wings of Sienna's ensemble and consumed a blade her father passed on to her before she kicked the bucket. The following morning, the entire school is examining Vicky's assault on the questioner, with Vicky having been sent back to a psychological clinic. Sienna has a fit of anxiety after knowing about what occurred with Vicky. She is helped by her companions Brooke, Kaylee Hyman, and Allie, Casey Hartnett. In the meantime at his school, Jonathan discovers two different children meddling with the cadaver of an opossum. Afterward, Jonathan finds workmanship in the school corridor playing with a similar opossum cadaver. Jonathan likewise can see the Little Pale Young Lady. Craftsmanship tosses the opossum at Jonathan and takes off. The school head, appearance by Felissa Rose, faults Jonathan for carrying the dead opossum into the school and reports him to Barbara. After school, Sienna goes to a Halloween store to purchase another set of wings. There, she tracks down workmanship. Albeit the jokester panics her, he cares very little about killing her. After Sienna leaves, workmanship blocks the entryway and debilitates and kills the store agent. He then, at that point, involves the representative's cut-off head as a Halloween beautification. Sienna gets back where she discovers that Jonathan is in a tough situation for the opossum episode. The kin talk and Jonathan trusts that workmanship was the person who outlined him. However, Sienna claims not to accept him regardless of her own encounters with workmanship. She asks her sibling for what valid reason he's fixated on the jokester. Jonathan uncovers that he has his dad's old sketchbook and shows it to Sienna. They see that their father portrayed out scenes from the principal film, an image of workmanship, and the fighter heavenly messenger holding Craftsmanship's cut-off head. Sienna won't really accept that their father anticipated workmanship's appearance, however later lets their mother know that she accepts Jonathan's story that he didn't bring the opossum body into the school. Sienna washes up and puts on her outfit of the heavenly messenger fighter, however Barbara isn't excited at how uncovering the outfit is. She concedes that it's all around made and would have done right by their father. Sienna goes to a club to meet Brooke and Allie. In the meantime, Allie is distributing trick-or-treat candy while her folks are out. Workmanship comes by yet vows to disappear assuming she gives him candy, which he in the long run does. Notwithstanding his commitment, workmanship later breaks into the house and goes after Allie. He mercilessly slices her body, including scaling open her back and scalping her. Afterward, when Allie's mother gets back, she finds Allie still scarcely alive and craftsmanship chuckling over her cleaned body. Afterward, we see that workmanship beheaded the mother and is thinking carefully as a bowl to give out Halloween candy to deceive or treaters. At the club, Sienna is acquainted with Brooke's beau. They get a few beverages and dance, living it up. In the interim, Barbara gets into a battle with Jonathan over the opossum episode and his fixation on craftsmanship. Barbara tears up the father's sketchbook and slaps Jonathan after he calls her a bitch. Jonathan runs out of the house, however solely after apparently wrecking the family vehicle, covering it in bathroom tissue, crushed pumpkins, eggs, and shaving cream. Barbara calls Sienna, who attempts to guard her sibling. Sienna likewise communicates her authentic love for her mom, which quiets Barbara down. While out strolling, Jonathan sees the little pale young lady and runs back home. In the meantime, Barbara starts cleaning the vehicle. As she wipes away some shaving cream, she is amazed by craftsmanship sitting inside the vehicle. The comedian shoots her in the face with a cut-off shotgun, killing her immediately. At the point when Jonathan gets back, he tracks down workmanship taking care of pureed potatoes to Barbara's body. He escapes, however craftsmanship gets and sedates him to take him out. Workmanship goes out with Jonathan, yet in addition takes Sienna's blade alongside him. In the meantime, Brooke in the long run lets Sienna know that she slipped some Molly into Sienna's beverage, in order to assist Sienna with relaxing. As the ladies dance, Molly sees the little pale young lady in the group and has a mental meltdown. Brooke and her sweetheart drag Sienna out of the club and into his vehicle. As they drive Sienna home, she gets a call from the little pale young lady imitating Jonathan. The little pale young lady, as Jonathan, guarantees that he's been caught at the unwanted carnival and necessitates her assistance. The triplets show up at the carnival and Sienna goes to track down Jonathan. In the meantime, Brooke lets her beau know that Sienna and Jonathan's father had a mind growth, ended up being insane and harmful, and ultimately passed on in a blazing fender bender. The pair then take medications and make out in the vehicle. In the meantime, Minimal Pale Young Lady messages Sienna from Jonathan's telephone, advising her to track down Jonathan in the spooky funhouse ride called the Terrifier. Brooke's beau goes outside to take a pee and is gone after by workmanship, who rips off his private parts. Brooke escapes, with workmanship in close pursuit. Workmanship pursues Brooke to the Terrifier funhouse and fiercely beats, harms tossing corrosive into her face, and kills her with a bat he fastened sharp items to. Sienna finds Brooke's carcass before she also is stood up to by workmanship. Jonathan, who since recovered cognizance, likewise appears. Sienna advises Jonathan to run as craftsmanship whips her. The kin figure out how to move away and are followed by craftsmanship through the funhouse. He incurs a ton of harm for both, including whipping the two of them until their backs drain. They give a valiant effort to battle him, remembering cutting him for the head and shooting him with his own cut-off shotgun. In any case, craftsmanship never remains down for long regardless of what they do. Ultimately, he figures out how to take out Jonathan and afterward wounds Sienna with the sword. He tosses Sienna's body into a pit, where she, out of nowhere, shows up at the Jokester Bistro from her fantasies. There, Sienna is caught in a water tank and in the long run passes out. Craftsmanship throws the sword to the side and approaches the oblivious Jonathan. As she's going to kick the bucket, Sienna's blade starts shining and recuperates her injuries. Sienna recovers awareness and breaks out of the water tank. She gets away from the comedian bistro reality and shows up back at the Terrifier funhouse. She gets the blade that workmanship disposed of and finds him eating her oblivious sibling. She violently assaults, overwhelming workmanship. In the end, Sienna beheads the malevolent comedian, as foreshadowed in her dad's sketchbook. The kin embrace, vigorously injured and damaged however alive and triumphant. Amazingly, the little pale young lady shows up. Rather than going after the kin, the little pale young lady gets craftsmanship's executed head and afterward leaves. The kin leave the Terrifier funhouse to find support as the credits roll. Mid-credits scene, Vicky is still in the psychological medical clinic as the orderlies, appearance by Chris Jericho, observe Halloween. Vicky awakens in the evening and starts draining bountifully from her privates. Vicky purposes the blood to paint on the wall Victoria plus workmanship within a heart. She then, at that point, powerfully becomes pregnant and inside the space of minutes starts bringing forth whatever is inside her. At the point when one of the orderlies keeps an eye on her, they are appalled to see that Vicky is supporting the executed head of craftsmanship, which is what Vicky brought forth. The head is plainly alive and grins as the deliberate shouts,